10 January transfers that should happen including Arsenal U-turn and Man United swoop. With the January transfer window just around the corner, plenty of managers will be setting the wheels in motion on some mid-season deals. Last January wasn't the busiest time, with some of the more successful transfer deals involving loan moves for the likes of Martin Odegaard, Joe Willock and Jesse Lingard. We may see more investment this time around, with Newcastle United ready to flex their muscles after a recent takeover, and new managers at an array of clubs, including Manchester United and Tottenham Hotspur, potentially being given resources to strengthen their squads. Mirror Football has looked at what a number of teams and players need as we move into 2022, identifying 10 transfers which should happen before the window shuts. Join the debate. Who do you want your team to sign in January? Have your say here. After stripping Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang of the Arsenal captaincy, Mikel Arteta may decide now is the time for the Gunners to get the striker off their books altogether. There might not be a huge market for a 32-year-old currently in the midst of a gold drought, but Barcelona will surely be on the lookout for a player of the former Dortmund man's caliber. The Catalan club are a man down in attack after Sergio Aguero was forced to retire on medical advice, and Xavi's side will need someone who can deliver instantly as they aim to make up the gap to the top four in La Liga. Phillips' importance to Liverpool last season was plain to see, but the return of the Reds' first-choice defenders has seen his opportunities severely limited this term. The 24-year-old had to wait until December for his first start of the season, and while he may have shown his Premier League capabilities, it would likely take another injury crisis for Liverpool to need him on a regular basis. One team which has been suffering from an injury crisis at the back is West Ham, who need reinforcements with Angelo Ogbonna and Kurt Zouma ruled out for a number of months. The Hammers were linked with Phillips over the summer before moving for Zouma, but could be tempted to come back in for the centre-back. After a brief revival under Nuno Espirito Santo, Dele Alli looks to be back on the market with Tottenham prepared to part ways with the midfielder. While Antonio Conte hasn't been able to find room for the 25-year-old, Alli is still young enough to turn things around and might just need new surroundings. Newcastle could be the best destination for a man who might have to be considered a former England international, having not turned out for the Three Lions in more than 2 years. Player and club alike may look at the success Jesse Lingard had at West Ham last season, dragging himself back into the England picture and breathing new life into a career which looked to be flagging. Dele Alli's former Spurs teammate Trippier could also find himself on the move, with suggestions Atletico Madrid may cash in before his contract expires in the summer. Newcastle are in the position of needing a combination of quality and a willingness to engage in a relegation battle, and the right-back has experience of both after winning La Liga last season and playing every game for Burnley in 2014-15 as they ultimately failed to stay in the top flight. The England international was a target for Manchester United last summer, but Magpies boss Eddie Howe has made him a principal target after the pair worked together in their Burnley days. With Arsenal still responding to their captaincy change, the balance between youth and experience in their squad has become more evident. Arteta's summer signings point to a manager aiming to build for the future, but the Gunners have lost some big characters in the years since Arsene Wenger's departure. One way to fix that could be a return for fan favourite Ramsey, who has struggled to make an impact at Juventus. The Italian club are reportedly prepared to let the Welshman leave for nothing in order to get his wages off the bill, and if that proves to be the case then North London may be the best place for him to reprise his international form at club level. Antonio Conte has already made an impact on Tottenham's results, but investment in the squad is still needed. The need for goals up top has become even more stark with Harry Kane's underwhelming numbers, and the situation may well prompt Spurs to go back in for a striker to reduce the burden on their number 10. Vlahovic has been linked plenty of times in the past, and he's a player Conte will have seen a lot of in Italy. The Serbian has been banging in the goals for Fiorentina this season, but has reportedly turned down a bumper new deal, alerting Spurs as well as a number of other Premier League clubs. Ralf Rangnick has already begun to turn Manchester United into a more solid team than they were under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but reinforcements may be needed to ensure the improvement is not short-lived. A defensive midfielder is seen as a priority, and Kessie's name is one which has been mentioned in connection with the club before. With Milan out of Europe and Kessie's contract running down, a January investment might not set potential suitors back too much. The Ivorian international is already well known to compatriots Eric Bailly and Ahmad, while Rangnick's talks with Milan before Stefano Pioli's appointment as manager in 2020 mean the manager will be well versed in Kessie's qualities. Hazard's Real Madrid spell has been underwhelming to say the least, with former manager Zinedine Zidane lost for words when trying to explain the Belgian's struggles. The former Chelsea man has been beset by injury and fitness issues, preventing him from reproducing the form he showed with the Blues. A return to England could be the kickstart the 30-year-old needs, especially with what might be his last World Cup less than a year away. However, given the huge wages which come with a big money move, a loan switch akin to teammate Gareth Bale's season at Spurs could be the best option. While a departure from the Premier League has harmed Hazard, the opposite is true of Pepe. Arsenal's record signing has fallen out of favour under Mikel Arteta, dropping down the pecking order thanks to the development of Bukayo Saka, Emile Smith-Rowe and Gabriel Martinelli. A January sale might be tough, especially if the Gunners want to recoup a chunk of the fee they paid for his services, but both player and club could benefit from a loan move with an option to buy. There's a good player in there somewhere, but it's looking increasingly likely that we won't see that good player emerge in North London. While some Manchester United players have given Rangnick food for thought, Martial is one man whose future appears to be in the balance despite the managerial change. The former Monaco forward has seen his opportunities further limited this term by the arrival of Cristiano Ronaldo, starting just twice in the league under Solskjaer before United's new interim boss arrived. Put simply, the 26-year-old needs minutes if he wants to remain in the conversation for inclusion in France's squad in the lead-up to next year's World Cup. Juventus is a potential destination for the want-away forward, with Barcelona also mentioned, though Premier League clubs may be tempted to test the water. Have your say. Are there any other transfers you want to see happen? Let us know below.